André Charette, a name that might not echo like Arnold or Ronnie, but in the world of true grit, dedication, and silent transformation, his story is one that deserves to be heard loud and clear. Born in Canada, André wasn't a child of spotlight or privilege. He grew up like any average boy, surrounded by dreams that felt too distant, too big. But what set him apart wasn't where he came from. It was the fire within, a flame that refused to die even when life threw its darkest moments. In his early years, he was just a skinny kid, awkward, unsure, and lost in a world where people only respected the strong and the loud. André was neither. But pain, isolation, and the silent struggle of being invisible became the fuel for something greater. He discovered weightlifting not in a glamorous gym, but in a local community center. Just cold metal, old plates, and a dream taking its first breath. Every rep he did wasn't just building muscle, it was rebuilding the broken pieces of a soul desperate to be seen. And then the transformation began, not just in his body, but in his mindset. He didn't have the biggest chest or the widest back at first, but he had consistency. He wasn't training for followers, fame, or gold medals. He trained for respect, for redemption, for proving to himself that he could be more than what the world expected. André Charette entered the natural bodybuilding scene not with a roar but with quiet determination. No steroids, no shortcuts, just food, sleep, hard training, and insane discipline. While many around him were chasing quick gains, André chose the long road, the honest road, and that's what made his physique stand out. It was real, earned, and raw. Year after year, he built his body like a sculptor chiseling stone, slow and precise. And what emerged wasn't just muscle, it was art backed by struggle, a visual testimony of effort no camera could fully capture. His delts weren't just round, they were earned through early morning shoulder presses while the world slept. His abs weren't just shredded, they were carved through thousands of clean meals and endless cardio sessions when everyone else gave up. But beyond the body was a man who inspired quietly, not by words, but by work ethic. He didn't scream motivation. He lived it. People around him started noticing, then asking, "How do you do it?" And he always gave the same answer: one day at a time. André's presence grew slowly but surely, not viral, not overnight, but through respect earned on the stage, in the gym, and among the community. Judges began to take note. Fans began to appreciate the aesthetic balance he brought, not just size, but symmetry, proportion, conditioning. His posing was fluid, confident, yet humble. He wasn't pretending to be a mass monster. He was honoring the beauty of natural form, the essence of classic physique. And yet, life kept testing him. Injuries came, setbacks happened, and the temptation to quit knocked louder than ever. But he didn't break. Because for André, bodybuilding wasn't just a sport. It was therapy, a calling, a sacred ritual that gave him identity and strength. Off the stage, he remained grounded. No arrogance, no ego. Just a man who believed that self-mastery was the highest form of success. He started coaching others, not just about lifting weights, but about lifting spirits. He taught them that it's not about how much you can bench, but how consistent you can be when no one is watching. He became more than a competitor. He became a mentor, a quiet leader in the world of natural fitness. Social media started catching on, but he never sold out. No fake supplements, no misleading ads, just honesty. In a world full of filters and fake physiques, André Charette became a rare symbol of realness. His journey tells us something we often forget in the race for instant success. That greatness isn't loud, it's built in silence with sweat, patience, and a love for the craft. Today, when you look at André, you don't just see a bodybuilder, you see resilience. You see every early morning he pushed through soreness, every meal he ate while friends partied, every set he finished when his mind screamed, "Stop." You see a man who chose pain over comfort, discipline over distractions, and authenticity over applause. And that's why his story matters. Not because he's the most famous, but because he's real. Because he reminds us that the strongest people aren't always the ones with the biggest biceps, but the ones who never gave up. André Charette may not have 1 million followers, but he has something better: respect, legacy, and the power to inspire anyone who's ever felt like they weren't enough. His story isn't finished. because legends aren't defined by a single moment. They're built over decades of choices, quiet, relentless, human. If you want to watch real, true, and inspiring stories like this, then subscribe to Muscle Kraze now. Because here, it's not just about muscles, it's about stories of humanity and hard work.